Hi, I'm Rachel Strabley. I am a consulting hypnotist, and I work with clients who are ready to change one or more areas of their life. Through customized hypnosis sessions, we reprogram the subconscious mind and create lasting and transformative changes in my clients' lives.
Awesome. Awesome. My name is Dr. Karen Marie Laconte. I am a naturopathic doctor. Yes, I'm a real doctor. Although, people say you can get your doctorate at Walmart. I didn't get it at Walmart, I promise you. So naturopathic doctors require a 4-year bachelor's degree, and then we go on to medical school for another 4 more years.
Oh, wow.
And when we go to medical school, we're studying all kinds of different modalities, homeopathy, cupping, meditation. We still study the traditional basic sciences as a medical doctor does.
Mm-hmm.
We just go a little further into alternative types of things. And the biggest thing with a naturopathic doctor is we're most concerned about how you got to whatever condition you have, whether it's fibromyalgia or irritable bowel disease or hypothyroidism. We care about the name of the disease, of course, but there's always integral parts of your life that contribute to disease. So we care about your personal life, what's going on with your personal relationships, your career, your environment. We care about all those things because they're part of treating you. So we like to treat the whole person. We like to treat you as an integrated person, body, mind, and spirit. All those things play a major role in treating you and treating you for the long term.
Excellent. And we are
Awesome.
here.
So we're coming to you today, Rachel and I, because we wanted to discuss important medical topics that are in the news. And there's a lot of recent things. But we decided we were going to talk about weight loss. It seems to be a big thing this year with the big up and coming thing with Ozempic and people really trying to, be their best selves. So today the topic is weight loss and how alternative medicine could really help you on your journey. That doesn't mean we don't believe in other forms of pharmaceuticals, but there's so many other options out there that we decided we want to discuss today with you. And so, Rachel, my first question to you is, how did you become interested in hypnosis? How did that come about?
Well, I used very quickly. I used hypnosis for myself when I had 3 young children, and I couldn't sleep because of all the chaos and concerns a mother has when your children are so young. And I used hypnosis to help me sleep. Fast forward 10 years, I used hypnosis to get through seasonal affective disorder that had become debilitating, and I'd always managed it over the years. I've had it ever since
Rachel, can
I
I
had it.
interrupt you for 1 second? Does your
Yep.
volume go a little louder? Because I could barely hear you.
Oh, sorry.
And we want to hear you because you got good stuff to say.
Is that better?
Not really. Let
Oh,
me see.
we were chatting before and it was fine.
Yes, but the volume changed now. Okay, I'm going to just get a little closer. That's fine. Go
Okay.
ahead. We want to hear everything you have to say.
Yeah, I should record fine. So yes, I used it for
So
sleep.
you were
And,
discussing about why you were interested in hypnosis.
yep. So I used it 10 years ago to help me sleep, and I used it a couple of years back to help me get through depression. So over the years, I've had seasonal affective disorder and had managed it, in different alternative ways. However, it became debilitating. And so I used hypnosis to get through it a couple of years ago. It worked so fast, and I haven't been depressed since. And we're looking at 4 years now. And so I just had to become a hypnotist, and in the state of Connecticut, you're considered a consulting hypnotist. And I did the training that was available, and I constantly train every year. And so it's just such a fun um, modality that I really enjoy, sharing with others. So that's,
Awesome.
and
Awesome.
thank you. And how did you become interested in being a naturopathic doctor?
Well, there was a lot of things, but I used to have a lot of allergies to antibiotics. And after the third day of taking antibiotics, I would just break out in hives all over the place. And they were just my doctors were just so irritated that we just couldn't find an antibiotic for me that wasn't making me break out in hives. And so that led me to do some research into all the different herbals that I can take and supplements that were natural alternatives to antibiotics. And so I'm also an esthetician, so I would just study all these things. And finally, I decided, gosh, I really need to be doing this for a living. And it was the naturopathic medicine seemed like the profession that I could work with a person, a patient, and treat them in totality
Hmm.
for more personal care. And then I loved it. I then once I started, I had to go back to school and
Yeah,
start my journey, and I haven't looked back.
excellent. Well, we're glad you did that.
Awesome.
And so we're talking today about, weight loss and different approaches. And so what's different about your approach to weight loss than, let's say, traditional diets and other plans?
Um, I think that because we naturopathic doctors care about the totality of a patient, we care about what food you're eating, we care about the cravings that you're having, what time is your cravings, are they at night, late night eating, um, are you exercising? What are you doing in terms of what is your relationship to food? As an Italian, when we grew up, like if you didn't have a ginormous plate of food, you just were not eating. You were malnourished.
Mm,
And I kind of grew up with that, and my plate was always filled. And I didn't necessarily eat it all, but I realized that I needed to change that. So working with patients, their mindset has to change. And because if they might lose weight for a short period of time, but if I don't change their role in what they're viewing, how they want to lose weight, and is it for the long term? Do they want to fit into that gorgeous dress? Then we're just going to keep going back and forth. So the mindset is really an important variable for weight loss for patients.
definitely.
And what about you? What role does the mindset, like the subconscious, play in weight loss for hypnosis?
So the subconscious mind influences behaviors, habits, and attitudes toward food, exercise, and just overall well-being. And what people don't realize is that many of their lifestyle choices that they make today stems from experiences that they had before they were 7 years old. The subconscious mind holds on to every single emotion that you had, and so if you saw, felt, or heard, or experienced something before you were 7 years old that gets triggered in, later in life, and you gain weight and you have trouble um, letting it go, it could be we as a hypnotist we get to the root cause of the problem. So we go all the way back to your childhood and release it from that moment in time. So, and also I call it weight release, not weight loss, because when you lose something, the mind wants to find it
I
again.
like that.
So we're going to release the weight and or let it go, shed, and whatever word you want to use. Just don't use the word loss.
I like that. I
So,
really like that. That's awesome.
yeah. So, I, going to the root cause and letting go of the emotion that you felt as a young child will help you, release the weight as an adult. And somehow, somehow, I don't understand the mind completely. I'm not a neuroscientist, but we change neural pathways and create new thoughts and new processes and just change, our attitudes toward food that way. Because when you're in a hypnotic state, your subconscious can be reached, which is just a relaxed state, that kind of state in between where you're just kind of falling asleep, but you're not asleep. That's where your subconscious mind can be reached. So,
That's awesome. I really like that. I think there is a lot to that. And I have studied neuroscience and you're right. You're spot on. This is what you've got to change.
yes, absolutely. And bring in, a sense of love and caring for yourself. You have to do it for yourself. It won't work if you're not doing it for yourself. If you're doing it for the wedding, you're doing it for your spouse, you're doing it to attract somebody. No, you have to do it for yourself first.
I agree.
And
I
so,
agree.
what kinds of weight release
Weight
plans
release.
um, does a naturopathic doctor suggest?
It's really great that you're using that word because when I give plans for my patients, I don't call it a weight loss program. I call it a food for life type of a thing.
Good.
So you're eating to feed your and nourish your body. So it's more about taking care of your body. Some of the things that I use as a naturopathic doctor for weight loss are first thing I'll do is run blood labs for my patients
Hmm.
because if you're deficient, if you have irritable bowel disease and you're deficient in minerals, that alone could take care of it.
Oh,
Vitamin D, if you're deficient in vitamin D, is going to cause a little bit more depression or seasonal affect disorder. Then you're a little more craving foods at nighttime, especially. It's dark. And so you're going to want those sugars, your blood sugar levels are going to spike. So all those things have to first be done to identify things that are going to sabotage the well-being of you working towards your goals. Some of the typical things I would use would be caloric reduction. There's a lot of studies that show as we get a little bit older, our metabolism slows down a little bit more. We don't need as much calorically as we think we need.
okay.
And maybe swapping out some of the foods. Like again, I'm Italian, so at night not me, but like growing up, we would have cannolis or the little sugar cookies, or, oh, you're sad, let's have a cookie, or, oh, you know what I mean? It's like how we feed people because we love them and we want to give them something sweet. So we identify those with patients. The other thing is, along with the caloric intake, is I take carbs out. I really take carbs out of their diet for 2 weeks. No potatoes, no starches, no
Oh,
rices, all those things for 2 weeks. No breads, because what it does is it forces their body into what's called lipolysis. It's
okay.
like the old Atkins diet back in the day. And when you do that, you're basically taking the cravings off the hamster wheel. So once you start eating sugar, you want more sugar. And when I say sugar, every carb, bread, pasta, all breaks down to a sugar backbone. It becomes sugar in your body.
Okay.
And so if you're eating that later on at night and you're not exercising, that means your blood sugar levels are going to go up. That's going to hinder your weight loss. and force you into type 2 diabetes. So caloric reduction, the time that you're eating, what you're eating, taking carbs out. You've got to get the carbs out for 2 weeks. And
Okay.
then reintroduce fiber carbs, fruits and vegetables into the diet.
So
And you will
what are they
notice, a patient
eating?
will notice there's a lot, tremendously less bloating, gas and bloating. A lot of people will say, just from bloating alone, I go up a pant size. Well,
Hmm.
just from bloating alone, you can go down a pant size and feel better. Sometimes it's just not about weight loss, it's about feeling better in the clothes they already have,
Right.
which
And
makes a
so
huge
if
difference.
you're taking out potatoes, pasta, rice, fruits, and vegetables.
Well, they're just going to cut out the potatoes, rice, not fruits and vegetables,
Oh, okay.
just the pastas, the grains. They're going to do that for 2 weeks.
But then
Then
you,
they can have a piece of fruit,
oh,
low
okay.
glycemic piece of fruit and some vegetables, but low carb ones, low net carb ones. So that's
Give
got to
me
be like
two,
less than 20.
give me two examples of two low glycemic, low carb fruit.
So an apple
Okay.
would be great. So I have an apple pretty much with every meal.
Oh,
Especially not necessarily lunch, but for dinner, I'll cut up an apple. And if I'm making chicken, I'll cut up the apple and throw it in the oven with my chicken.
ooh,
And I'll have that with it. So I feel like that's the thing. People feel like they want a little something nashi that's sweet.
mm,
And I'll do that. And it'll prevent me from wanting something sugary later on.
oh, interesting. Okay.
The other thing is increasing activity.
Oh, yeah.
And you got to get moving. You got to figure out a way to get your steps in. That's going to burn blood sugar levels, going to lower your blood sugar levels, keep your body strong. As we get a little bit older, we kind of get disconnected by, this aches or that aches. You got to move. You got to do something, even if you're doing, you're taking some soup cans and you're just building up your body strength. It makes a huge difference in weight loss for
So, no.
long-term wellness and keeping it off.
So walking and weights is what you suggest.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, yes.
Okay.
So what do you do? So how does hypnosis for you, like a hypnosis session, differ from other people who do hypnosis for weight loss?
So, I work with clients on improving how they feel about themselves. So I always bring in, a lot of self-love, a lot of confidence, a lot of self-acceptance.
I like that.
I've heard through the grapevine, I've had quite a few clients come to me for weight release who have already done hypnosis for weight release. And I'm not going to mention names. I actually don't know the names, but they basically sit in a room with 500 other people. And this person just kind of drills into them that you're not allowed to eat this, you're not allowed to eat that. And if you do eat off your diet plan, you're just going to go straight back to where you started, and then you're going to come back to me for more. And it's just a very fear-based
That's a good
hypnotic
point. That is a really
experience,
good point.
that I have not experienced myself, but I have had, like I said, many clients come to me saying that they did this way and it didn't work. So for me, it comes from a place of love. And it's also figuring out why you're eating. Is it boredom? Is it sadness? Is it, are you happy? Are you eating with your emotions? Are you.
While you're eating, yes.
Exactly. Are you choosing food to either continue feeling good or using food to stop feeling sad? So we address the reasons for eating, why you're eating at night, to fill a void. Is it to fill a void? So my approach is actually based on Paul McKenna. who is a UK hypnotist, but he's world renowned. And he says, eat what you want, but only eat when you are hungry, and stop eating when you are sufficiently full. And these messages are put into the hypnosis script for you to hear during your hypnotic state.
I like that.
And so what happens is when we do the hypnosis and they're allowed to eat whatever they want, there's no restrictions. What happens is when they come away with feeling, loved, confident, they then make different choices. They choose the water over the Coca-Cola. They, choose the vegetables over the pasta. So they just start gradually making better choices for themselves because now they feel good about themselves and they want to treat themselves better.
I really, really like that because sometimes people are emotionally eating to fulfill whatever need is going on with themselves. So addressing that goes back to the mind stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And I really like the fact that if you don't change why you're eating, because a lot of the times if we ask ourselves, we're probably full much faster
Absolutely.
and we still continue eating.
Yes. And we sometimes we're just eating because it's noon. Well, it's lunchtime, but are you hungry? So you have to, ask yourself, am I hungry? And only
Yes.
eat when hungry. I apologize. My garage door is going up and down. I did tell my husband I was on a video, but can you hear it?
No,
Oh, you can't.
I
Okay,
can't hear
I
it.
can.
I can't hear it.
So
No.
good. Yes, so it's we explore. So I do a 9-week weight release program. And so each week we, explore what's going on. We talk first and then I do the hypnosis. And there's a lot of hypnotic techniques that I use. One of them is an emotional detox, which people love because it enables them to release a lot of emotions without reliving them. However,
I-
if they are still feeling stuck, then we do have to go to the root cause and address it from an adult perspective. So, and it may be
Oh,
something really, really silly that you're like, why is this holding me back from, releasing weight? It doesn't matter. When you're 3 years old and somebody said something and it makes you feel a certain way, that 3-year-old is still inside of you, making choices for you based on that experience. So,
so you are basically healing the inner child.
yes, yes,
You're
definitely.
healing the inner child so that when the weight comes off, they're not just losing weight, they're losing emotional baggage as well.
Exactly. They release a lot of emotional baggage and then they're able to release the weight because the emotional baggage is the weight is there to protect you from something.
That's a really good point.
Yes. So whether you were told when you were younger, oh, you're too skinny, you're so skinny, you know, then when you're older, your brain is like, well, no, I'm not going to be skinny. That's bad. And so then you gain weight. Or um, one of my clients actually was very young, 3 years old, fell down and got dirty and was afraid to see her mom because she thought she was going to get into trouble. And this emotion somehow was connected to her weight gain, um, and the inability, rather, to release the weight. It just doesn't make sense. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. But this client went on to release the weight and started feeling motivated to exercise. And it just, that was her trigger.
That's a really key thing because I think subconsciously we all know what we have to do,
Yes.
but it's the motivation part. Like, why do I feel motivated to want to go to the gym and just walk the treadmill or go outside and get some fresh air or choose some carrots and some broccoli and a nice piece of healthy chicken as opposed to a big plate of pasta?
Hmm. But there are
And
people out there who eat the pasta and are very skinny.
right, right,
So,
exactly.
so my approach is
Yes,
it's not the pasta.
that is a really good point. Yes, that is true. Yes. But for some, so it's so that's why alternative medicine is so good because it's
Yeah.
not cookie cutter. It's
Oh no,
individual based.
absolutely.
So I can't eat a plate of pasta without paying very dearly for it. I'll have to go to bed for the day. But I know people that can, my son can eat a whole plate of pasta and go out and mow the lawn and run a marathon, and he's perfectly fine.
Yes,
So it is individual. It is very individual. And that's what I like about the different modalities that are used. Not just one way. Explore for potential clients and patients. Explore all the various different ways that could work for you. Try
definitely,
them all.
definitely,
Try them all. If you're that's an issue, weight loss is an issue for you for a long time, explore all those different avenues so that maybe one thing might not be for you and another thing will be for you.
definitely. But I do really like your approach in that you do bring the mindset component into it. It's not just eat this, drink that. There's a lot more to it. Yeah.
Yes. A lot of times patients say, I want to lose weight. And when I ask them, why do they want to lose weight? Their like brain comes to a screeching halt. What? And or they want to do it for a wedding or a gathering or whatever. Those are fun things. Okay. But then I asked them, do you want to lose weight long term or
Yeah.
just for the so there's a lot to discuss that we could really be on here for quite a while discussing weight loss, right?
We could, but we're going to wrap it up now and finish our coffee. But this has been a really cool coffee chat. I hope people enjoy it as well. And they can ask questions to either of us in the comments. And we can also put our details there for people to reach out if they'd rather do it. Awesome.
Yes.
Yeah, cool. Well, thank you, Dr. Laconte.
Yes, thank you. Thank you. It was really awesome chatting with you.
You
And if
too.
there's other subjects that you guys want us to talk about, write about it. Just let us know. Or we don't know when, but we'll see if we'll consider it.
Of course, definitely.
It's good talking to you.
You too. Thanks for joining us. Bye.
Thanks for joining us. Bye bye.